So I had somebody come up to me yesterday. They said, Leo, hey, Leo, when is going to be the next Whitney Houston? When is going to be a next Whitney Houston? When we going to have a next group like Boys to Men, Silk, who else? Jodeci, Deborah Cox, Aretha Franklin. The list goes on and on. And I was wondering, I was like, man, when are we gonna have another Whitney Houston? When are we gonna have another Michael Jackson? We're gonna have another all these other people that know how to sing. I ain't gonna say some other people name because in legal trouble and stuff, but you know who I'm talking about. It came to me. I was like, you know what? A lot of people, and if it's not the singers, it's the producers. You know what? A lot of them have in common. They were in the black church. Yes. I know a lot of people out there. They say, "Oh, we don't go to church." Blah blah blah. The church ain't good. Blah. They just want our money and stuff. But you gotta look at it. You gotta look beyond what you think about church and everything else. And we looking at the music side. We looking at the music talent side. We looking at the producing side and stuff. And what we can find out is like a lot of these top singers, a lot of these top producers from the 90s, and I say that's when black music on the rhythm and blues side and hip hop. Well, hip hop goes with rhythm and blues because they were taking the rhythm and blues songs and remixing it. So it was like 90s was like rhythm and blues and you added your rap lyrics on them rhythm and blues songs. So I was like, a lot of these people came from the church, black churches, and that's a very important thing. Like if you haven't been to a black church, if you haven't grown up in a black church, you ain't gonna really understand it. There's a different type of singing. Go to a black church, then you go to a white church. You'll see the difference. Even the new age white churches, the big mega churches, you'll see a big difference. See, so with Whitney Houston, you ain't gonna have a Whitney Houston unless that person is in the church, or they've been in the church and they understand the vocal, the spiritual vocals that goes with the song and stuff, and what they can do on the spiritual side with singing. Everybody know, everybody can do the classic stuff. You can have another 80s, late 80s and 90s Michael Jackson. You can have another Prince. Who else you can have? You can have another Mariah Carey, but not really. It's gonna be hard because Mariah Carey, she also put some of that gospel spin and other stuff on there. But what you're not gonna have, you're not gonna have another Whitney Houston. We ain't gonna have another Jodeci. We ain't gonna have another those singers that hit you straight to the soul. You know what I'm saying? When they sing, it hitting you straight to the soul. It's not they doing that and all that and adding the crying. That's one of the most important parts of the spiritual R&B. That's what you gotta call it. You adding that soul to it. And people be, I don't even say soul. It's like that, the Holy Spirit. You got that gift from the Lord. They got that gift from the Lord, and they be like, you know what? We're gonna flip it onto the regular music side. So that is the most important part, because if you don't know how to do add in the spiritual aspect to the song, like adding a crying, like the people sound like Whitney Houston sound like she was crying when she was singing those songs. Mariah Carey sound like she's crying. All these people sound like they crying or they arguing with you at the same time they singing at a top level song. You know what I'm saying? So that's the main difference in R&B and singing. And today is in modern times. So that's why all these artists that you see, they're not good. You know what I'm saying? And you know what else too? It's like there's no scouts anymore. Everybody's getting people off of Instagram, TikTok, or some they did this cover, blah blah blah. No, you can't do that. You got the scouts. Anyways, they ain't even tied into the church or whatever, so you ain't gonna find those people. So that's the main problem with black artists singing. You know what? The world wants it. The world is waiting for us to produce another Whitney Houston, another or get somebody get an influence, a producer get influence, and just producing these songs. The world is waiting for it. Because you know what? I think back in the 1980s, 1990s, we got too greedy. We was like, you know what? You look at all the artists that was one-hit wonders, made 2 hits, and you go back there and you listen to their songs, and you be like, oh, okay, these people are like top singers, but we had so much scouts and so many people scouting for the next top singer, next Whitney Houston, that they would just make one song for the person, like, you know what, we got another person over there. We ain't worrying about you. So much that when Mary J. Blige, he was at the bottom of the R&B list of singers back in the 90s. Like, you don't even mention Mary J. Blige back in the 90s when you was talking about singing. Beyonce came out in 1996 with a debut album with Destiny Child. Destiny Child was not even close to being top singer. Beyonce wasn't even close to being one of those top singers. They were like in at the bottom. They were like with immature and stuff. They're at that level. So now we just take advantage. We in the 90s they took advantage of, like, oh, we get another Whitney Houston, we get another blah blah blah. But look at what happened. We don't got it. It's not there. So like most things, the generation from the 1980s, 1990s, they messed up the whole entire thing. You know what? They raised us, you know, so you could blame them. Blame your parents, blame your grandparents for the lack of Whitney Houstons, for the lack of Jodeci's within the music industry. You can blame them. And that's all I gotta say. You know what I'm saying? That's all I have to say.